Hi everybody, I'm Anthony from Truegamedata.com. Welcome to the new YouTube channel that I've created for the website. I thought it'd be a good medium to show some of the cool things I've learned about the game as I was building the website and just share it with everybody. So today I'm going to talk about aiming stability, which is something that is very misunderstood in this game. And I discovered some cool things while I was building the website. So yeah, I'm going to get into it. Aiming stability can really affect your recoil and your recoil consistency, recoil patterns. A lot of people think that aiming stability doesn't affect the gun while you're firing, but that's just not true, and I will show you that in this video. So first thing I'm going to start with is just a Bruin. This is a Bruin with minimized aiming stability, so this is no stock, compensator, and stippled grip tape. So when I ADS with this gun, you're going to see that it wobbles back and forth a ton. Left to right mostly, a little bit up and down, but mostly left to right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start firing when it's at the leftmost point of the wobble, and I'm not going to move the mouse at all while the gun's firing. So I'll start it at the leftmost point. So there's one recoil pattern with it started at the leftmost point. Now what I'm going to do here is move my reticle to the right and then start it when it's at its rightmost point, but on the exact same original bullet hole. So you can see with those two recoil patterns there that they're significantly different. I mean, I'm only like 5 meters from this target, and the recoil followed a significantly different pattern. So now what I'm going to do is show you what that looks like with a maximized aiming stability build. So this build is a Bruin with tack laser, the aiming stability stock, the tactical foregrip, and granulated grip tape. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to fire 2 recoil patterns starting in the same bullet hole. And you'll see that the first one and the second one are going to look almost identical. They're going to overlap each other almost perfectly. So here we go. So there's the first. Now I'll do the second one starting at the exact same point. Almost perfectly overlapped. It's the same exact pattern. So what aiming stability can really help you with is having, if you use one gun a lot, it can help you get good muscle memory for the recoil pattern of the gun. So it gives you the same exact pattern every time within some margin for error, because there is some randomized jumping of where the gun will bounce when it's shooting. But in general, obviously the 2 recoil patterns there, like these, were significantly different. But then when I had aiming stability, it was very, very similar, and this is true across all weapons. It's a common misconception that aiming stability doesn't really affect the recoil when you're actually firing, but it definitely does. Alright, so the next thing I wanted to show was the SKS. This is a gun I've had a ton of fun using in Warzone, but it takes a very specific build to make it viable, and it's a build that I don't think a lot of people would try because it relies on aiming stability. So the same thing holds true for these single-shot guns, semi-automatics, that aiming stability is happening throughout the entire recoil pattern. So if you have minimum aiming stability on something like an SKS, your second follow-up shot is going to be in a completely different spot than your first shot was. So watch what happens with minimized aiming stability here with this SKS, and then I'll compare it to a maximized aiming stability build. So I'm going to line up my crosshair right on this little red dot on this truck. I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to fire a full clip. So I didn't move the mouse at all during all those shots, and only one bullet hit my target. Only one bullet hit that little red spot on the truck. Alright, so now I'm going to repeat the same exact test that I just did, only this is going to be a maximized aiming stability SKS. So I'm going to aim at that exact same point again. I'm standing the same distance from the target. Again, I'm not going to move my mouse at all during this test. So I'm going to ADS right on that red dot, and then I'm going to fire a full mag. And what you'll see is every single one of those shots would have been a headshot. I mean, easily at this distance, but even at further distances, every shot hit the same exact point because the aiming stability was maximized. So throughout the recoil pattern, the reticle was recentering to the exact same spot because there was no sway in between one shot to the next. So it keeps it really consistent, and it actually makes single shot guns a lot more viable in this game, especially ones like the SKS where you have to hit headshots in Warzone. It does 175 damage to the head in Warzone, which is a massive amount. So you hit one headshot with this thing and it just helps your team significantly, and you can fire off rounds so fast with it when you maximize aiming stability that are super accurate. I've been really frustrated in this game with single shot guns because I played all the Battlefield games religiously and pretty much exclusively used single shot guns in the Battlefield games. But for some reason in this game I could never find one that felt like it worked correctly for me. So when I discovered this aiming stability thing, this was probably about a month ago I realized this. It just changed single shot guns for me entirely because it made them so much more viable because you can follow up your shots in the exact same spot. So this is another thing I wanted to cover in the video before ending it. Different attachments can affect your aiming stability sway pattern differently. So this is a Bruin that instead of having a no stock, it has the ADS reducing stock, which also reduces aiming stability. So if you watch the sway pattern with this gun here, you'll see it goes up, goes also to the right, goes up to the left, goes back down. So it pretty much goes all over the place. It doesn't just stay, horizontal. It doesn't just sway vertically. It kind of sways everywhere. And this is one of the things that makes this so hard to quantify. As you'll see in a second here when I show you what this looks like with no stock, it completely changes how the pattern looks. So this is part of the reason why it's not on the website yet on Truegamedata. We're working to find a way to quantify this. It's just going to be a lot of work because we'll have to go through every single attachment and measure how far it sways and how fast it sways, and if the attachments all affect it differently, it's going to be really tricky to figure out. Alright, so this is the same Bruin that I used earlier. This is the Bruin with no stock, with minimized aiming stability, and you'll see, compared to what I just showed, the stability pattern looks totally different. This one wobbles basically straight left to right when you have no stock on it. Despite all the other attachments, the recoil or the aiming stability looks completely different, and that's what makes it so hard to quantify on the site, is just how different these different attachments affect it, and that'll just make it really difficult. But I wanted to show you guys this video so you understood it a little better, and that way you can realize that the attachments like the M16 stock and other stocks and things that only affect aiming stability, it looks like on the website they don't do anything right now besides hurt you. But that's just because we haven't put the aiming stability on there yet. Hopefully it's going to be up there very soon. But yeah, I just wanted to show you what this looks like and why it's so difficult for us to get it on the site. Alright, I think that pretty much covers everything I had planned on talking about in this video. I'm going to link all of my socials below. If you want to follow or join the Discord for the website or my social Discord, feel free to hop in. I will be uploading more videos as time goes on with some more interesting things, so if you like the content, you like the website, subscribe would be appreciated, and look forward to seeing you around.